Meantime, we have to check in with those weather impacts. And Brad, it is really cold out now.
Yeah, it's cold and it's kind of a shock to the system because this morning it was 61 degrees at sunrise. It is 30 degrees in many neighborhoods, if not colder. So a cold night ahead, and this will be a shock to the system tomorrow morning. It was kind of muggy. Some people might even had the AC on briefly yesterday or last night to remove that kind of humidity, but the cold air is here. In some cases, like I said, 30 to 35 degrees colder overnight into the morning hours, kind of held steady in the 60s all night, which, by the way, is above our normal high for this time of year. Sunny skies return for most of your Thursday and Friday, but there could be some rain back in the forecast by the end of the weekend. There's snow in parts of the mountains, but it's not widespread. Boone is an area where there's not much going on. The real story in the mountains is just about a dusting to an inch, but they had a flash freeze. Basically, the rain stopped and the temperature dropped within an hour below freezing, so there are a lot of slick spots. We don't have those issues south and east because we've had so many hours of drought. But check this out. This is the trend in temperatures. So this morning and really during the afternoon, temperatures were in the low 60s early on. And then right around noon, the cold front came through. And from there, you could see the temperature's been tumbling. And so far, we're at our new low temperature for the day, which is going to happen at 11:59 tonight. But during the day tomorrow, full sunshine. So at least we've got that going for us. But it'll be a chilly day. Temperatures mainly in the 40s. We might top out in the low 50s. Remember, that's the high. That's the maximum temperature. We'll spend most of the day in the 40s. Even in the mountains, we'll be in the 30s most of the afternoon. That secondary front kind of reinforces the cool air. So I'd say about 3 days of chilly conditions. As we get closer to the end of the weekend, this cold front will approach from the west. We'll have some dry air in place, and it could set the stage for a really cold rain on Sunday. This weekend also coming up, a great event in the night sky. Typically the Geminid meteor shower is one of my favorite meteor showers of the entire year. This year it's not as great because we've got a full moon this weekend, so that moon is in the sky all night. It's going to deter some of the dimmer meteors. So I'd expect maybe 5 or 6 to maybe 15 per hour. Not the greatest. If we have completely dark conditions, you could double or triple that. Best viewing is going to be Friday night, but any night this week leading up to the weekend, it's going on. It's just not peaking until Friday night. And you might have to go early because by the weekend, we're going to see clouds increasing because of that moisture coming in from the west. And you can see by the time we get into, especially Saturday night, Sunday morning into Monday, those rain chances, and definitely the chance at least for some rain and some clouds, but it should be clear for the end of the week into the weekend. Now we start looking long range. What does next week start to look like? Well, high pressure over the northeast is over us this weekend, but by the time we get into Sunday, we start to see some moisture returning. That gives us the rain for Sunday. So for the Panthers game, I would bring the poncho and make sure you're dressed warmly because it's not going to be a warm rain. It'll be a cold rain. And then next week, a bigger system approaches by Thursday and Friday. That low pressure system will really cool us off going into the following weekend. And the upper level pattern kind of shows you that. Dip in the jet stream this weekend, next week warm, but then look at this storm for next weekend. That's a sign of much cooler air on the horizon. Your Guy Roofing 7-day forecast shows the cool down into the weekend. Again, 40% chance of rain on Sunday. Big warm up early next week. We could be in the mid 60s, but going into next weekend, the weekend before Christmas, we should see some cooler temperatures with highs closer to 50.
Okay, Brad, thanks.